Welcome to the Business Growth Spotlight, where we shine a light and talk with business leaders from all over the world who are here sharing their expertise and wisdom so we can all grow together. I'm your host, Heidi Schalk, co-founder of HLH Growth Solutions, where we help businesses grow through outside the box visibility and automation strategies. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. So glad you're here with us today. And stay to the end because I have a special treat for you. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce my guest who is here sharing his expertise and wisdom with us. His name is Tom Herring with Benefit Corporations for Good. So welcome, Tom, to the show.
Heidi, thank you. I'm delighted to be here. Hope I can impart a little bit of wisdom to your very smart audience out there. So happy to be here.
I'm sure you'll provide a lot of value for our audience, and I'm just excited to have you here. I'm going to give everybody a little background about you, and then we will jump right in. So Tom's work is focused on growing the benefit company movement in Oregon and throughout North America. When he launched Benefit Corporations for Good in 2018, he realized the positive impact small businesses could have on their employees, their communities, and their planet through commitment to a triple bottom line of people, planet, and profit. I love that, people, planet, and profit. So Tom, can you share with us what was your inspiration or what motivated you to create the Benefit Company, Benefit Corporations for Good?
Yeah, great question. So, I'll net this out. My first two acts were in the advertising world. I spent several years in agency work as a copywriter. I'm a recovering copywriter now, but a copywriter, creative director, worked in both Portland and Seattle markets, eventually launching my own firm, creative services basically for B2B businesses throughout the Northwest, some North American companies as well. Um, uh, Along the way, I had been doing work with a very good friend of mine, a peer who was my co-founder, Marianne Harmer. We had done many projects together. She was on the client side, leadership roles in healthcare marketing, DEI, one of the first DEI programs launched in the Northwest. And we decided that, we wanted to do something really great in our third acts. And so along the way, we got introduced to the Oregon Benefit Company. And we really didn't know a whole lot about it. It was relatively new. There are still, I would venture to say that the majority of people listening to your podcast right now, Heidi, probably 5% might have heard of what a benefit company is or a benefit corporation in certain states. But it was this whole idea of business, a for-profit business meeting nonprofit, kind of that intersection of having a mission and going beyond just making profit as a business, where you consider your business decisions, you consider people and planet in making every business decision you make. And that's the idea of the benefit company or benefit corporation. I believe Florida is, your home state is a benefit corporation state. Oregon is just one of four. There's small nuances, and I won't, go into those, but basically they're all the same. There are 40 states now that offer this. And that's where I got fired up. We really got excited about doing this work. I'm inspired every day. I get to work with these professionals that bring so much, joy and goodness to not only their companies, but their employees, their community members, and of course, their customers.
Mm. So why would you work with small and mid-sized businesses? Why would a smaller business, mid-sized business choose to become certified as a benefit corporation? And what advantage does that create beyond, I mean, we all want to do good, but beyond simply doing good?
Right, right. So honestly, most owners, most small business leaders come to us already living values, and these values, they're just doing it without proof. And what we talk to them about is certification gives them clarity
Mm.
on what they're actually doing. Well, credibility when they're talking to customers, partners, investors who care about this stuff, who care about a commitment to doing good as a business owner. It's really a public marker that holds them accountable going forward. And the immediate return isn't a revenue bump, but what it does offer is it suddenly gives a business clarity. a commitment and a way to go about it because you're verified by a third party standard, and it's not just a PR machine cranking out something.
Hmm. So what do they like? What are the certified businesses like most about your BCFG certification?
Yeah, I think, what it helps is, as I just mentioned, the third party credibility. There's an accountability that's built in. So, businesses drift over time.
Mm,
They lose a little bit about where their direction is, and it's very normal. And this kind of helps our certification, which is an annual one, um, helps keep the leaders, on the right path that they've aimed to be on. And we always say that anybody can claim they're purpose driven, but we actually are an independent organization that helps verify that. And it builds trust with customers, employees, lenders, community members, and keeps them focused ahead of time. And then I guess the third thing I'll add, I mean, there's several more, but these are the first two. These first three are the really big ones. And the third one is, of course, it's a differentiator. And as a small business, you want to differentiate your business, and this certification kind of helps answer the question, how are you different from your competitor? What is
mm,
important? So it's another compelling reason beyond price for somebody to do business or want to go to work for you. The millennial and Gen Z demographics are very interested in this model. They don't want to work for businesses that are just making a profit. They want to make a difference, and
very true.
tons of research to support all that.
Yeah, it's definitely a feel good thing to see when clients are looking for a company to work with, when they see that certification, that you've gone above and beyond to wanting to do good. You're not just out there touting it, you're actually taking the action and the steps to go above and beyond what it would take to be seen as a do-gooder. And you're actually committed to proving that or doing that on a consistent basis. So I love that they can get certified in this space. And like you said, a lot of the people that they work with, or that are attracted to them, are not just wanting to work with a company because it's profitable, or they want more. They want to see that that company is actually doing some good or something in the world to make a difference. And they're because they want to work with companies who are aligned with their values and their beliefs.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely spot on. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
One of your core messages, Tom, is the importance of the triple bottom line: people, planet, and profit. So, how does embracing that philosophy actually help corporations differentiate themselves and create a stronger competitive advantage?
Yeah, I think this is a thing where, as I just referenced some research, that people want to work for companies. We always say the best and the brightest want to work for companies that are doing something more than making a profit. So
Mm,
the triple bottom line is kind of that compass again, that your decision is made based on what effect might this have on people in your company, in your community, in your industry. And then, of course, what effect is this going to have on the planet? How is this possibly reducing your carbon footprint? What are some key considerations here as you make these decisions? And I think people love to have that guidance right now. Where my belief, Heidi, is that one day this type of certification will be kind of as common as somebody going to get a business license at your
mm,
Secretary of State's website. I think it is moving that way. I'm very optimistic, in spite of a lot of stuff that's going on in the world right now, but this gives me a ton of optimism. And I think this triple bottom line is a great way to frame all your business decisions as we help these business leaders come into our community and give them some yardsticks that they can use in measuring those particular efforts as they build and grow their businesses.
mm. Are you able to share with us, and you don't have to share with us a specific company name or anything like that, but can you share a story about a business that became certified through Benefit Corporations for Good? And like what motivated them to pursue the certification, and what changes or benefits did they experience afterward?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And what I'll tell you about is that so let me back up and just say to that question, almost 99.9% of the businesses that have come to us in 8 years have all had this DNA already built into the leader's values. So their
Mm.
personal values, as you well know, Heidi, is usually is your professional values. That's what guides your decision making as a business leader, whatever industry you're in. So first and foremost, it's a stretch for them to kind of consider coming and going through our certification program. But the businesses that we have come through us have loved the idea that they are able to join a group, a community, as we call it, purpose-driven businesses that are making meaningful change in the world. The business I'm thinking about right now, I will tell you, is and this will be people kind of go, what? But it's a steel fabricator here, a technical fabricator company located in Portland. And the leader of this company came to us about 3 years ago. She was cited as one of the 40 under 40. I mean, by our Portland Business Journal, and the Business Journal Network has this in
Yeah.
all major metropolitan areas. Super, incredibly purpose-driven individual. Their business was able to partake in the Biden, infrastructure, green infrastructure. And so they are building these amazing windmills or various products that are helping us move off typical, oil producing grid and doing something in new alternative energy. But I will also say that the really cool thing that they also do is that they take young women that have been in the prison system, women, I shouldn't say young women, but women that have been in the prison system, bring them in, train them. They get more than a living wage. They're trained. It's just a powerful story that I was told by the founder, and this continues to this day. And this company has been with us about 3 or 4 years, and yes, their business has pretty much grown exponentially, even in tougher economic times that I think we're kind of going to be coming under right now. But they're able
Mhm.
to keep growing, attracting good people, and building a really powerful business that will be a significant, not only a Northwest business, but I think will become a national business because a lot of their work is throughout the country.
So you mentioned purpose-driven leadership. And as you said, most of these companies, or 99.9% that come work with you, are already clear on their purpose, and their leadership is purpose-driven. And purpose-driven leadership has become a major topic in business, but there are many leaders who struggle to move beyond the good intentions. So what does purpose-driven leadership look like in practice? And how does it influence their culture, customers, and long-term growth?
Yeah, so purpose-driven leadership really, the idea behind that is that you as a leader are looking at all aspects of your business. And you're looking in the main buckets that compose your business, from HR to marketing to production to manufacturing, whatever those cases may be. And you've built policies, you've come together as a team, as a leader, you brought in, however that works, you've developed policies where people find it easy to say, okay, is this going to work for us based on our purpose? Yes or no? And the policies that they build then become guidelines as they grow their business. And yes, some of those policies will shift over time as I won't say economic conditions as much as things become better in terms of how you might, what is the power grid for your company? What are products that are changing now? You're looking at your supply chain. How does that business that is providing you with products to make your own, how are they doing business? Are they aligned with your values? So it's really this, it's again a guide of how values are aligned and carried out throughout the business, where you don't need the leader to enforce it. That becomes just standard. That's part of the onboarding package for anybody that comes and works for that particular company. Or a customer is clear about what he, she, or they are buying from that particular business. There's nothing that's really obfuscated at all. It is very clear that this company stands for triple bottom line, people, planet, and profit.
So you just mentioned the customers being clear on the product they're buying. So how can, and we talked earlier about customers being aligned, or working with businesses or buying from businesses who have not only good intentions, but are actually they're confident that this company is really one of their main goals is to do good in the world and make a change. So consumers and employees increasingly want to support organizations that align with their values. How can businesses authentically communicate their purpose and impact without it coming across as marketing hype or greenwashing?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what that you just hit on one of the reasons why people want to be certified by a third party. That helps clarify some of their values that this is not their PR team, as I said, mentioned before, or
Mhm.
ad group, spinning out something. Um, what the clarity is in transparency. I mean, that's a big value that, our leaders all have. That's, there are 5 or 6 that are very strong. We call conscientious leadership as one of our values. We talk about transparency, and belief in green practices and how all that comes together. There are 2 or 3 documents that we help our businesses, work through so that information is clearly upfront in their website. It's in their identity materials. If they have a storefront, and then we help ascertain that is done correctly, that it isn't just a PR effort. And we talk about a sustainability statement, which is what are you doing to sustain, not only your business, but your planet. We do talk about sustaining your business too. That's a very key thing, obviously, because if you're not sustainable, you can't do anything in the sustainability, movement, right? We talk about a social justice statement. How do you treat customers, employees, and we talk about, this goes beyond just an equal opportunity idea, but what do you believe in, and how do you look at, take your values and make sure that those are clearly understood, as you work through them in your business. Those are just a couple that we also talk about. One other key thing that's more marketing focused, but really what it is, it's the why for your business, and we call that the brand manifesto. 3 things that, these are free resources on our website that any business can go take a look at. And we have we have subject matter experts that have helped us write these clear, easy to understand, and particularly for the small business leader. That's basically how our community is built of more small businesses than any other size of company.
Mm. So you're helping to educate the market and the companies you work with, and many business owners, you doing what they're still discovering. So what's working best today for you when it comes to building awareness and attracting new organizations and clients to growing benefit corporations for good?
Outstanding question. Very, very timely. I have put together a marketing advisory team for me. And this is our second meeting that we've had, and we've done this annually. So I just had it last Thursday, so not even a week yet. And what I've asked them to help guide me through, how do we get this message out? Because there's a real challenge here that most, as I mentioned, 5% of the listeners are going to know even what a benefit company is. And then how do we differentiate? What do we stand for small businesses? And what I've discovered, Heidi, it's as basic as the beginning of business, but it really is being in front of people and building relationships. That's really what it is. The funnels, anything that's really, digitally oriented right now, certainly that's all helpful. But my best business has always come from either a referral from somebody who's already in our community, or I've been speaking to a group, or a podcast like this where people hear about, what we stand for. So I think that there's really no magic answer. It's still building relationships, and that's what people trust, and they want to have, that kind of relationship with somebody that they can see, feel, and again, they trust most importantly.
Absolutely. So have you mentioned funnels and all those and marketing and relationships is the key for you, relationships and so R&R, relationships and referrals.
Yeah.
Have you tried some things that just didn't get the ROI, the what you'd hope for in your marketing efforts,
Yeah.
visibility efforts?
Yeah, that's a good. So I have tried some again, mini campaign, mini social media campaigns. All right, Facebook, some LinkedIn. I've actually done that's where basically where my people, my community really hangs out on LinkedIn. If there's one platform,
Yeah.
not TikTok, um, maybe a little bit of Instagram, but again, most of the people are business people, and they want to know how can I help them. That's really that's always the question. How can I help them? The key for me is speaking in front of groups. That was the other directive that my marketing advisory team said. And I have been doing that a lot this year. I've been meeting with a couple new people every week. It sounds like basic BNI kind of things, but a different, different two people every week. And either they're interested in our community or they want to know more so they can share it with somebody. But I'm working really hard to get into as many different business groups that are aligned. Now, there are a lot of business groups that, they don't want to hear about anything other than profit. So that's fine. That's how they do. But I have to make sure that I've got another couple filters that is purpose of importance to that particular audience. Is values. Our values really, the important thing that drives this business, and yeah, how it makes its mark in the world and how it builds its product and services and builds its relationships.
Mm. So if I could hand you a magic wand, and I know you have your team behind you doing their with advising you on the next right steps. If I could hand you a magic wand and you can wave it over one challenge or issue you're having right now that you could go poof and it disappears, what would that be and why?
Wow. Wow. What would that be? Um, I I think here's what this is, it might sound maybe too altruistic, but what I would really love is if there was a way to have a public information campaign that explains what a benefit company or benefit corporation is. And I'll tell you why that's really critical. So, of the 40 states, this legislation has been around since 2008 in various states. Oregon came about 2014, so 12 years ago. I would love somebody, though, to be able to, none of the states, I should say, put any money behind a public information campaign. So that's why um, there's lack of knowledge about this option as you become an S or a C or an LLC, that you have a box that you can check and say, oh, I'm also going to be an Oregon Benefit Company, or I'm going to be an Idaho Benefit Corporation, or whatever the state may be. If that knowledge existed out there, it would make my life so much easier.
Yeah.
So that would be, and whether they choose to certify with us or there's other, B Lab is of course the biggest triple bottom line, operation in the world. We're slowly working at the smaller level, but I would just love that knowledge out there. That would be
Mm,
it.
yeah.
That'd be a challenge that I would just say, wow, this is this isn't getting better than that.
That's a great wand, right? Great magic
Yes.
wand. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Beautiful. Well, you've
Yeah.
been in business for 8 years and you've evolved in over a lot of ups and downs. I'm sure you've navigated as we've moved through the last 8 years. And now we're seeing, I don't even know if I could say the emergence anymore of AI. It's emerged pretty fast. It's evolving very fast. So it's changing how businesses communicate and build relationships. And you mentioned relationships are key for you. And I'm hearing that along among many of our guests on the show. How do you see AI supporting purpose-driven organizations, and what role will trust and authenticity play as AI becomes more prevalent?
Well, a very pertinent question. Um, this is one that is constantly being scrutinized right now. I'm just going to tell you how relevant this question is and timely. Literally this morning, I put together what I think I mentioned earlier, that we have community in-person get-togethers called happy hours for good. Well, we also have virtual happy hours for good. We're beginning our second one. So this is for anybody in the country that wants to eavesdrop in, but we bring in subject matter experts. And I have just lined up count them, three panelists who are all steeped as AI professionals. Three women, two here in Oregon, one in California, And we're going to open this up probably the first week in August to kind of go through some of these questions because I can't give you a great answer right now, other than they have to look at the values of that business and say, does this fit within our values, and how can we use it? Um, I don't think that there will be any disagreement about the use of AI and being a more productive tool. The questions of authenticity and purpose, those are going to be a little more nuanced right now, and how we look, how we decide on that. And I have to write a white paper. So as I mentioned, our learning center has 8 or 9 really great white papers. This will be added to that particular, part of our site, that particular page. And my thinking right now, Heidi, and I didn't even tell these 3 outstanding women that I want this probably to be done on a quarterly basis if their time permits. And again, I'm leaning on they're going to be they're busy as it is already. They're going to be swamped.
Yeah.
But I think they feel very one is a member of our community already, and I'm hoping another one comes forward. And the third one is the certified B Corps. So their values again are all aligned with our community. But my question is, how often do we have to have these? And they're saying things are going rapidly, just faster than I even imagined in the conversations I've had with him so far. So anyway, I will be better able to answer some of those questions, I think, as it goes. But I said, again, you have to, if I said anything right now to any of our leaders that call me, I'd say, you've got to have your values, look at them. Does the decisions you're making with AI sync up
Yeah.
or not? You know? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. So Tom, can you share with us how people can learn more about you, Benefit Corporations for Good, and where they can find you and connect?
Yeah. Thanks, Heidi. Yeah. The best way, obviously, is to go to our website, benefitcorporationsforgood.com. There's a contact page if you want to talk to me. I'm also offering a free download of our book, Putting Soul into Business, which is a primer basically for any small business owner about what what a benefit company and benefit corporation is all about. I'd also suggest that, follow me, link in with me. I'm there pretty regularly, daily. And then back on the website again, we also have a free 11-question assessment that if somebody wants to take a look to see if they're right, those 11 questions will help you determine where you are on being ready to be a benefit corporation or benefit company, and what might transpire after you've taken that test, what might be needed. So those are the best ways.
Fantastic. I love assessments because they're a great way to kind of get an idea of where you're at, depending on what the assessment's for, right? It's a good
Yes.
gauge because they're going to ask you questions. Those assessments were built by the expert that knows about that space. So if you might think you'd rank really high on it, but once you get some questions, you're like, oh, I never thought about that. I never thought about that. You might
Yeah.
rank lower than you really expect to, or you may be ahead of the game compared to where you think you are. So I love the assessments because they're built by the people that know the questions that should be asked to determine where you are on that scale related to that specific topic. So I'm going to push you all to go get that assessment when it comes to being a community for good or a corporation for good, and where you fall in that spectrum or in that space. So go to benefitcorporationsforgood.com. So we're going to repeat that again, benefitcorporationsforgood.com. We also have all of Tom's information and his show notes inside, or information and in links inside the show notes. I'm a little tongue-tied today, Tom. I
Yeah.
apologize. So
That's
if
all
you're
right.
driving, don't worry, we got you. Or if you're having a little brain glitch, whatever that like I'm having glitch, just go to the show notes. We have everything there for you. We make it super easy. But go to benefitcorporationsforgood.com, go to LinkedIn. You can find him there. It's Tom Herring. Again, we have that link inside the show notes for you as well. If you're watching us on YouTube, Tom and I say thank you. We're grateful you're here. If you know of somebody who is part of a company or is a founder or CEO of a company, and they are making an impact, and one of their core values and goals is to make an impact in the world, share this interview with them, share this information with them, and send it to them, letting them know that Tom and Benefit Corporations for Good is here to support them. If you are listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, thank you. We're grateful you're here. If you're so inclined to leave a review, we would love it, preferably 5 stars. That notifies the podcast platform that people are listening to this. And our conversation with Tom is impacting and making a difference, and they will push this out to more people, which is our goal. So if you know of anybody also that would benefit from hearing this conversation, please share this with your friends and with your colleagues. Tom, before we wrap up, is there anything that you'd like to share or say that I didn't touch on or didn't ask you or we didn't talk about today?
One thing I'll mention, and I didn't say this specifically, but our certification is built on 60 questions, and those 11 that we just talked about are touch on the 8 values. There are 8 values that are in our 60 questions. Self-evaluating, and really that's kind of it. I just wanted people to know about that, and there's information, of course, on the website. You'll find certification criteria, et cetera, in addition to the assessment, the free assessment that's available. So, yeah.
And you've
That's it.
got the free book. So what's the book called again, Tom?
The book is called Putting Soul into Business: How the
I
Benefit
love that.
Corporation is Transforming American Business for Good. So, yes, and we would love, and there are 11 interviews of thought leaders, small business owners, a lot in Oregon, but some nationally. That would be very helpful. I think if I'm a small business leader, and why did these business leaders choose to go this direction? And those questions are right there. In addition to the book kind of explaining the details of being the how and the why and the how for being a benefit company.
Yes. So one last time, go to benefitcorporationsforgood.com, grab the book, grab the assessment, and you can also connect with Tom from there and go to LinkedIn and follow him, connect with him, and send him a DM. Let him know you heard him here. Thank you, Tom, for being here and for taking time out of your day. I'm so grateful for this conversation and for getting to meet you and know more about what you're doing and the good and impact you're making in the world. It's always good to hear not only about growth, but also the positive impact that's an opportunity that's out there that businesses should be including in that bottom line. So bottom line's great and it's important. Profit is necessary in order to keep the business growing and doors open. But it's also important that we're keeping on the forefront to people and planet. And what good can we do to support both of those? I love
Absolutely.
it.
Really appreciated being here. I appreciate you. Appreciate the great work you're doing with your podcast. And thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you all for listening to Tom and I here today. Make sure you go connect with him. And I look forward to seeing you all on the next episode of the Business Growth Spotlight.